Okay, folks, let's go to Doug Miller. Doug, for
I'm
our
here.
feature demo tonight.
I'm here. You see,
We see
you see my pine? You
Yeah,
got me?
so straight up, I'm going to mute everybody. So you come back and unmute yourself, all right, Doug?
Okay.
Go ahead.
There we go. Oh, had to admit somebody while I was here. Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
That's
Go ahead.
the joy. That's the joy of working on a single camera on the phone. I have to walk around to get there. Anyway, I've got a piece of 2x. This is some of Ronnie's work. Piece of 2x6, I believe it is. And it's had I took it, ran it through the saw just enough to get all the edges sharp instead of that rounded. And then I laid it in between the blade and the fence. So I got it exactly. It's whatever it is this way, it is this way as well. I marked the center and drilled a hole on this side over here next to the chuck. I've got a wormwood screw in there. So it is screwed up on the wormwood screw. I've already marked a line, excuse me, marked the line on this side so I know what size my recess has to be to fit on the chuck that I've got on here. I use 2 chucks. They're both Nova chucks. One is the original, uses the Tommy bars, and that's the one that's on the back of the Mark Chalet bowl. This one has they're called the 2-inch super bowl jaws. I think they are. They're super heavy. When they're closed, they're as big around as the chuck is. So anyway, what we're going to do is just turn a very simple square bowl. Got a lot of good comments on the 6 that I did, the set of 6. And so Dane and I were talking, and so we decided a couple months ago, I guess, that we would do this. I'm just going to run it up, the speed up to where it feels kind of comfortable. I did realize the other day that my speed indicator and what the actual speed is not the same. When I put it on 50, it's probably actually about 15 or 20. So anyway, first thing I want to do is turn this recess. Very simple to do. I've got that line there. My tool rest feels just a touch high, so I'm going to lower it.
Doug, do you have your face shield?
Thank you. No. I did take my ring off a while ago.
Looking out for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for the last 6 months, I've tried to do a lot better. I still forget. You know, we all do. But thanks for reminding me. Here we go. Now it's on. Come back the other way. I'm going to take a skew just to clean up this inner edge of this recess. And that's the only way I'll use a skew on a bowl when it's side grain like this, bowl, platter, whatever it is. So I've got my recess done. Now I want to create what's going to be my foot and start the curvature of this bottom side before I turn it around. Actually, let's move the tool rest just a little. Give me a little better angle on this outer edge. Tool rest, or excuse me, tool handle is held real low. So I've got a shearing angle going on. go real slow as I get to those corners. That will reduce my sanding. I really don't like sanding these things. I've got 4 corners that are flopping around. Just want to clean that off. I want a fresh face on that. I'm not going to go. There we go. Just a little more to clean this curve up. Still got a little, excuse me, bit of a tool line there. I can get out by a nice little shear scrape. And I'm looking over at the horizon so I can see what the curve looks like. I'm going to let that be that for right now. I may change my mind later and decide I don't like it, but for right now, oh, that's not bad at all. But then this will all get sanded. If I was to be doing these for production to sell, I would go ahead and get this all sanded and at least get my sanding sealer and abrasive paste done on here, whether I did anything more or not. Right up in here, this part right here could use another cut just to smooth it out. But for time, we'll say we did and we got it nice and smooth and it's ready to be sanded. This typically takes, for me, I get kind of picky when it gets to this, and I end up taking a whole lot of time, and I'll take 30, 45 minutes just making sure that curve right there is perfect. Oh, nobody reminded me I'm on a wormwood. There we go. Surprised it came off that easy. They usually are on there pretty well. All right. Is everybody familiar with a wormwood? That's what we're talking about.
Worm screw?
Worm screw, wormwood, woodworm.
Woodworm.
Yeah, they're called all kinds of things. But this groove is caught by the inner part of the jaws. When you put them in, you put that past your jaw, start tightening it up. But then as it starts to catch, you want to pull out on that and then tighten all the way. And the reason being, as you put that in, if that thing is pushed back in your chuck, see, I've got that much play. And if it's back and you put that on, you think it's tight, it ends up pulling back out, so it ends up being loose, and you have to stop. So you're putting it in, pull it out as you're tightening it up.
So hey, Doug, don't feel rushed. You got plenty of time.
Oh, I know that. I just don't want to take all night. I know how it is when I'm not demonstrating, and every once in a while we have a long demonstration, and we got people that want to show things, and I understand that. But that's the easy part. I'm cutting out a lot. I'm not doing the sanding. You guys have seen the sanding. You know what sanding's all about. It's laborious and it's boring, and nobody likes to do it. Well, some people like to do it. I don't. I like to see the results of it, but I don't like the sanding.
It's
Anyway,
just as much fun as watching grass grow.
pretty much. And I don't like to cut it, much less to watch it grow. We're going to start the inside. I'm just kind of taking some rough cuts to get it started.
I can actually smell the pine sap through the monitor.
Well, you can smell it. I don't smell a thing.
You must have COVID.
Or dust in his Kleenex.
Actually, typically, I've got my RZ mask right here at hand that I wear most of the time, but I've also got an air cleaner that's exactly, I just measured it just before Dane put me on, 5 feet away. It's a 1.5 horse electric motor with 2 furnace filters on the front side, and it does a phenomenal job. I've usually got it on, but I turned it off just before we started too, just because of the noise it makes. But I can hear you all. You can hear me better with it off. All right, I'm looking at the edge. I want to see how wide it is, and I want to keep dimensions the same. Let me go ahead and turn this off. If I can keep the dimensions here and here and here all the same, we're doing really well. And right now, everything looks good. These corners look clipped off, but they're really not. They're still full width. But I'm going to go down. I want to take maybe 1/8 or even 1/4 off of that corner, but I want to do this entire curve. I don't want it fatter here than it is up here, so I'm going to be turning it off from time to time to look at that. You'll also notice that I'm not trying to do it all in one cut, and I'm leaving a whole bunch here. And the reason is I don't want these to start vibrating and getting floppy in and out before I get this part cut. I want to get this and that all at the same time. And so I'm going to leave this center part here, some of it anyway, so that it absorbs some of that vibration. All right, you got to hit the go button to go, right? This is kind of like fitting a box. You have to cut, look. I'm trying to watch down the outside, trying to watch down this outside curve as I cut this inside curve. We're getting close. I got to catch that corner just a little more. Very light cut to get into it. First, I don't know, first 2 or 3 dozen of these I did, I would have 3 corners that were pristine and sharp, and I'd have one where I busted the whole thing off just because I was going in too fast. Now these inside corners are in better shape than they are on the outside. They're much smoother because I took a little more time. Now we can work back in like a bowl or anything else. Give yourself a little more space by working back to it. take a look at it. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we got to get this. Hope you can see this right here. It's thicker here than it is right here, and I want them to be the same. So Billy, you're talking about smelling the wood sap. I don't smell wood sap, but I sure smell wood, pine sawdust. Smells like construction site. All right, let's take another pass and try to even up this curve right here. Again, looking down the outside as well as the inside. That should be pretty close. Huh. Can you see that edge? Seeing right there where it's nice, should be showing up nice and even.
Yes.
Looks great, Doug.
Yeah, looks
All
good.
right, let's see what we can do about this inside now.
For those that just came in, this is Worldwide Wood Turners, and we are watching Doug Miller do a demo on turning a platter or a square plate bowl.
Is the difference between a flat?
All right. I want to readjust my tool rest again. It's gotten a little far away in the center. Oh, just for fun. Dean showed us his video today, or produced his video today of his center finder jig, or the thickness gauge. Here's mine. It uses two pieces like his, but his locks down so that this part's adjustable. Mine just fits against the headstock, and I put this against the wood, and I can see there I've got a little less than 1/8 of an inch. I'm too thin. I'm about to go through it. So instead of making a funnel, what I'm going to do is just round this off. This won't go out for sale or anything, but it'll go to something. My wife will probably find a use for it. If she doesn't, it'll be firewood. All right, let's just round that off.
Put a finial in the middle of it, Doug, and now you got yourself a nut bowl.
There you go.
Or put a little relief line. Put a little relief line right where it's contacting. Make folks think it's a lid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I say put a finial in the middle of it and you can put rings on it.
Yeah, or you could turn a decorative medallion and embellish it somehow.
Exactly. That's what I was fixing to say. Cut some lines in it and make it look decorative.
Get
And then
out your
paint it,
texture
and then-
tool.
and then paint it black and silver it.
Stick
a
with us,
gold
Doug. We'll
painting
get
wall.
this thing done. I think he's going for trouble right here. I saw a tool come out. There it is.
Oh, texture. The Robert Sorbet mini texturing tool.
Yeah,
That's
Minnie, you're so sweet.
With the platform on.
Yep.
There we go. Little sanding and we're in pretty good shape. Actually, a whole lot of sanding. There you go. I hope you can see. Let's see if I put some, use a little sanding sealer and you'll be able to see the texturing, I think, as well as the grain. Yeah, that helps. There you
I
go.
could put it up to the light, Doug, and look through the bottom. See how thin it is.
Oh, around the, yeah, out here.
Yeah, I
it's pretty
saw the
thin.
light coming through when you had it up, putting the finish on it.
Yeah.
Little halo.
Oh, it's got a little pinhole. Yeah, you can see it.
Can you see there?
Move it toward us.
Yeah.
There it is. Move it towards the camera a bit. And then tilt it towards the camera.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
There, a little more, a
Hey,
little
that's
more,
real
a little
pretty.
more. There you go.
Yeah.
There you
there's
go.
the halo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I thought I heard it get kind of thin, and it did.
Oh, yeah, you can see
That's
the light
okay.
through it.
Yeah,
One
man,
of the-
that was
one of the
close.
neat things. One of the neat things
Well,
about
that'd be
using
a-
this construction pine is you can get it all over the place for nothing. You know, they're
Well, that'd be a
glad
cool-
you pick it up.
Little clock. That'd be a pretty little clock.
There you go. There you go. Hang it up there on the bias like that, 12 and 6.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll finish that out and see what it comes out to. It may end up being a clock. That's a good idea. Very good.
Good job, Doug.
Yeah,
Well, thank you,
thanks,
guys.
Doug. I
Appreciate it.
I
Awesome.
appreciate you showing the cutting on the, making it the same thickness all the way through that curve. That was instruction.
Right.
Doug?
And the whole thing is going in. Too many people think about going across when they're doing this kind of thing. If you think about going in and checking, you can make this curve here the same thickness as this corner. I go to shows all the time and I see them where they got a nice thin corner and this edge down here will be an inch and a half thick.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
thinking, good grief, just a couple more passes going down and you got it covered. But they don't do it. They don't know to do it. That's the problem.
What size tool were you using?
I'm sorry.
What tool were you using? What
That
size?
was a 1/2 inch bowl gouge.
1/2 inch? What
Yeah.
what cut you got on that? Is it 40?
I knew someday somebody was going to ask me. And I've got an angle finder here, but I can't lay my hands on it right away. It's whatever my grinder is set at. I went to a gathering down in Georgia, and the fellow said, I set mine with, and he showed us how he made this gauge stick. He never measured, but he used this gauge stick so that his rest, his post rest, the pocket, was the same distance from the stone, no matter how worn out his stone was. And so I went home and I made a stick, and whatever that was, that's what I used. And that's what I have always used until just a couple of weeks ago. I got a CBN wheel. And so now I've got to come up with a new gauge stick because it doesn't have the stone like the ceramic stone did. So
Okay.
come up with a new way to gauge that.
Okay.
Good job, Doug. This is Mark Fillet.
Hey, Mark, you just missed me showing your bowl of that I got from Elizabeth.
Trey, can you set me back up as co-host? I got kicked out.
All right. There it is, Mark. That's one of your
Oh,
rough
nice.
outs that I got from Elizabeth.
Well,
It's,
nice job on that. Isn't that pretty grain?
It's beautiful. I did not know I had such beautiful grain.
You know, anytime you need stuff, you know, I got 3 warehouses full.
Well, I've been talking with Elizabeth, so yes, we'll take care of a little bit of that.
Yeah, she's a super friend of mine, and I've helped her out a lot. She's a great lady.
She is a good one. She is a good one. I'm sorry she's getting out of the wood business, but I sure do understand.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful piece there. But
Anyway, there you go, guys. That pine plate, that's a simple thing. Free, yeah, whatever you call that. The stuff you make it out of. Your raw material is free. You go to any construction site and they'll be glad for you to pick it up. They won't load it for you generally unless you give them a good sob story or you got pretty legs. But other than that, you know, for 10 or 15 minutes, you can fill your trunk up real quick with 2x6, 2x8, even 2x10s and 12. Just little chunks, but you can make a lot of nice stuff out of it. And people love it when you go to sell that kind of thing.
And be cut off sitting in the dumpster.
Good job. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Doug.
Thank you, guys.